Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where the save-breaking update has been released. As of the time I'm recording this, it was a couple days ago, but that was before we finished, or rather started, the last big mission, which did take a little while. No doubt about that. For now, of course, we're still on the old version. This is a save-breaking update, so we're going to be remaining on this version until we finish this series, which I would like to start winding down here fairly soon. I feel like we've largely accomplished what we wanted to, and maybe we just go until like our engineering is fully maxed out. We could certainly do that, in which case we might want to start working on the gymnasium upgrade. We'll get going on that one. Absolutely fine. Now we do need to do some repairs from the last mission. Specifically, the big one that we need to repair is our Bandersnatch, which just got one shot right out of the gate. So let's just open up our Bandersnatch here and we'll get this repaired. So specifically, what all did we end up losing? An LRM-20, an Artemis attachment, an ER medium laser out in this arm, and a second ER medium laser, as well as a bunch of heat sinks. Okay, that's not too bad. Do we have an LRM-20 to replace with? I believe we do. We have an MRM-20, but I do want an LRM-20, which would be... There we go. Here's an LRM-20. Sounds good, so we'll just slot that right on in. We're going to need an ER medium laser. In fact, we'll need 2 of them. So I believe we do have those. Yep, we've even got an ER medium laser and an ER medium laser bright bloom. So we're going to have exactly the same weaponry as before. That looks very, very good. We do still need an Artemis 4 attachment, so we can definitely slot that in here. So let's see here. Where is that? I believe it's under equip, right? Yeah, right there. So I'll just put that right on in. Fantastic. And we still have 16 tons to work with here. So how many heat sinks is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 6? Something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and put these heat sinks in. Some of them might have gone in that arm, now that I look at it. But we've got plenty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe 6, like that. I think that's the number of heat sinks that were lost here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. It's hard to determine, but that's 10 total components. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yes, definitely 6. Good to know. Now we can max out our armor here, and that looks approximately correct. Yeah, fantastic. So we can determine if we want to add anything else to this at this time. So we've got this just about good to go. We've currently got an FCS missile range and a slick suite in here. We could think about adding in something like an advanced optics. What does that actually weigh? 0 tons. So we could toss in an advanced optics here. That is definitely an option. We could also potentially do like an IFF jammer in this specialist slot, and we could definitely do that. That'll be reasonably okay as well. And this is not necessarily going to be... I mean, this is kinetic resistance here. That might not be the worst thing either. But I don't think we have the slots for it. No, we don't. We would have to remove our endosteel structure, and that's probably not going to be a thing for now. For the moment, I'm mostly going to chalk that up to being a fluke that we lost the Bandersnatch in one round like that. It just comes down to a heavy bomber, right? So we're just going to validate that for the time being. Beautiful. Now, more AMS is definitely not the worst idea. That would help us with that. But let's get this Epimetheus repaired. What was in the cockpit here? So let's go ahead and repair all. Just a machine gun? Okay. So all of this remains as is. Looks good. I don't think we need to put in any sort of an FCS here. We currently have a clan FCS, which gives us a +1 gunnery. I think that's okay. We're just going to max out this armor. The only thing that happened here was the pilot panicked and ejected, right? So that's absolutely fine. We'll get that going. That'll take some time, no doubt about it. 28 days to get that Epimetheus repaired. And this Black Knight here was in serious danger, but it didn't actually end up taking any real damage. Just the shoulder, lower arm, and hand. We got kind of lucky with this one. No doubt about it. So we'll just hit that repair button, and we'll max out this armor. 0.125 tons remain. That seems pretty decent. That said, as long as we're in here, we may want to start thinking about upgrading the Black Knight. We're already running double heat sinks. So what we could think about doing here is going to ferrofibrous armor, giving us 2 tons to work with. That would allow us to put in 2 additional double heat sinks, one here and one here. And then from there, we have a little bit more heat headroom. So we could go with ER medium lasers, or rather ER large lasers. Let's see here. That's the ER PPCs. We could definitely think about ER PPCs. That would be an interesting option, but those are, I believe, 1 ton more than the large lasers. Yeah, and we only have the 1 ER PPC. We could definitely run the binary laser. That would be an interesting thing to run. We would end up dropping... What is the tonnage on the binary? 9 tons? That's pretty expensive in terms of tonnage. So we would end up dropping the large lasers. We could put a binary laser on here. That gives us 1 ton. And then we could run another ER medium laser. That would potentially be... I would love to run an ER large laser over here. That's, of course, going to put us 4 tons overweight. We could try to slap on an endo steel structure. I don't know how realistic that is. Yeah, we lack 5 slots for that. So I'm not shocked about that. I think we're going to have to go with the ER medium laser here. I do feel like the binary laser, what is the range on that? Optimal of 360, max of 720. Compare that to the large laser. Where's that ER large laser? There it is. The ER large laser is optimal of 420, max of 840, but the regular large laser is 300, 600. So this is slightly longer range than the large lasers, and it also does double the damage of them at 1 less ton. So this is a sizable upgrade, I would say. We can slot in an ER medium laser out over here and call that good. So that seems fine. We definitely see a slight bump of our damage output. Our heat efficiency remains about the same. Heat delta of only 6 heat, though. That is not bad at all. I kind of like that. So let's validate that. Let's get that going.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
Okay. So those are going to be pretty lengthy to repair. No doubt about it. I want to get these done first because I'm not sure if they took any internal damage. They may have. So let's tick forward a couple of days here, and we'll get most of those repairs done. Okay, where are we? 2 days on the grasshopper? Sounds good. Get those finished, and we're now working on these 3. So it's going to be a while. We may have to take a financial report here before we deploy. We took a lot of damage in that last mission, but I want to check in the mech bay and see if any of these took internal damage. It looks like no, they are all good to go. Okay, let's just continue to tick on forward here. Apparently, Klist is needing a prosthetic. How much is this? This would be easier to read if this was separated with commas or periods, but that's 1 million. We would speed things up. No, we're good. Klist will be in low spirits for 30 days, but that's okay. Carry on with your normal rehabilitation. I'm not too concerned about that. We don't need to speed up Klist's recovery. She was pretty injured, no doubt about it, but she'll be back in 50 days. So I'm not too concerned about that. The work on the gymnasium is now completed, and let's get to work on the hydroponic garden. That'll be fine. And we'll continue to tick forward here. So we're going to have our financial report as the next big thing in our timeline. I think we take this financial report. We still have a couple more days on our Epimetheus and Bandersnatch. We could have deployed there and done a lower number of deployment slots mission, but I think for the moment, this is fine. We've got lots of cash. I'm not too concerned about taking a month off after that last mission. So we can definitely do that and get these repairs completed. The hydroponics garden will be done right about now. So apparently Klist wants to practice. And that's fine. She can gain 50 experience, as can Coach. Fantastic. Okay, so she's still out for 25 days. The hydroponics garden finishes now, and we can get started on another upgrade here. So that'll be the library, and that'll be a pretty solid upgrade indeed. And we can continue to tick forward. Now the Epimetheus is done. I want to double check that everything is good to go here, and it does indeed appear to be the case. Okay, so let's head into our barracks and let's get any training done that needs to happen. Gorgon can get a point of gunnery. Sounds excellent.
Yes, Commander.
And, GV. Okay, so what do you pilot, GV? Are you the carrier pilot? It's not giving us the tooltip. There we go. Demolisher. Okay, the Demolisher I definitely want to get Warlord to. Unless we want that -1 recoil. It is an action, though. I think I'd rather have the accuracy and the clustering roll modifiers. So we'll take that. The -1 recoil would be amazing if that was a passive, but it's not. So we're going to take a point of tactics for hard case. For Jammer, we can take a point of piloting. Clist is, of course, still out, and that's fine. For Magus, a point of guts will be okay. For Plato, we're fine. Romeo is okay. For Savarok, a point of tactics. Okay. Squire, you can take a point of gunnery. And finally, Weasel Cakes. Wait, Squire can also get a point of guts. There we go. Okay, Weasel Cakes, you had nothing, right? Right. Okay, so we're ready to deploy now. Minus Clist, but we can bring a substitute mech warrior in that slot. So that'll be okay. We'll be able to do some shuffling around of mech warriors, and that's definitely something that we want to do at this time. I feel like we're doing okay on cash, so I think maybe something like this defend base mission. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we could certainly do a defend base. I'd love it if it was a free priority salvage. It is not. We'll probably run this straight down the middle then. Okay, so we'll get everybody out here. Of course, we need somebody in the Bandersnatch. I'm going to remove every mech warrior that we have here. We have shuffled them around a fair amount. We're going to remove all of them and make sure that they're where they're supposed to be. So Brick is supposed to be in our crossbow X, right? No, Brick is supposed to be in the Epimetheus at this point. Okay, so we can use Brick in the Epimetheus. Right, it's Magus that's in the crossbow X. Capo is in the Black Knight, I believe. That is indeed correct. So in you go. Coach, what do you got? You are in the carrier. Yes. Okay, that'll be fine. Gorgon, you are supposed to be piloting the Rifleman, which is on this page somewhere. There it is. Okay, in you go. GV, you are piloting the Demolisher. I don't know if it matters whether they're in the Devastator or the jerry-rigged Demolisher. I think it's the same. Focus fire, hull down, skilled sensor operator, hunter killer team training. Focus fire, hull down, skilled sensor operator, and hunter killer team training. Okay, I think it's the same. I'm going to put GV in the Devastator here. Hard case goes in the Marauder. Okay, so that's right down over here. Jammer, I believe, goes in the jerry-rigged Demolisher. Yes. Magus goes in the Crossbow X for sure. Plato goes in the Grasshopper. There we go. Romeo goes in the Nidhogg. Definitely. That's everything over here set up. Excellent. Savarok is a substitute. Weasel Cakes goes in the crossbow, and then all we need now is Clist into the Bandersnatch, which means we can choose between Savarok or Squire. And neither one has Bandersnatch affinities right now. Let's put Savarok in here. Actually, he does have Marauder affinities, but not Bandersnatch affinities. Are those separate? Yes, they are. Okay, noted. So that is absolutely fine. Let's deploy this and see what happens. I will see you guys after the loading screen. That is not the button I'm looking for. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so here we are all loaded up. That wasn't too bad of a loading time, so that's a good sign. And let's begin this mission and see how quickly we can get through this. We're a little late in the episode on starting the mission. Maybe this will be a quiet contract for once. No, it won't, obviously. Multiple incoming hostile contacts. Okay, so this is night fighting. I didn't look at that. That is noted. And friendly vehicles are going to be out over here. Where's the Vanguard? Up over here. Okay, so deploying over this way seems fine. We can just advance out over here and deal with this pretty quickly. So I'm just going to manually deploy us. Ooh, I don't like that deployment. I'm going to manually deploy us out over here and make sure that this is in a reasonable-ish position. Emphasis on ish. That'll be fine. So we're just going to make our way up here and engage that Vanguard as quickly as we can. That'll be the idea anyway. So what do they have up over here? Well, we immediately see This APC moving up, that's fine. That'll enable the turrets. We see a quick draw, a Warhammer, an Austral, and a Hunchback. Okay. So first up is going to be our Crossbow X, and we're going to want to just advance forward as much as we can for right now. So we're just going to position here. Spawn protection is a thing for the time being, and that'll be fine. Okay. So next up is our Epimetheus. That wants to move up as much as possible as well. And then we want our Bandersnatch to make it back into cover here.
Confirmed.
Excellent. And our crossbow will make it back into cover as well. Next up would be our Grasshopper, which is going to maximally advance, which is about here.
I am the wind.
Okay, that seems relatively fine. Our Black Knight is also going to advance on up, as is our Marauder, making it all the way up into that cover. That's nice. We want to take cover up over here if we can. Our Rifleman could step back into the cover back here, and I think that's probably a reasonable idea. We're going to want to maybe spread these guys out a bit more next round, but this will be reasonably fine. The Devastator can make its way out over this way. They're going to be very concerned about that Devastator and our vehicles in general. Our vehicles in general are pretty scary. I'm not sure we want to use our Nidhogg's ammo at this time. We'll see. Okay, I want to check in on maximum armor counts. So 1120, 800, 720 on that Austral, and 640 on the Quick Draw. Okay, so their armor counts are relatively low with the exception of that Warhammer. So that is absolutely noted. The Austral moves forward and is now being ECM jammed. Yeah, that Austral is relatively in danger there. The LRM carrier is going to sit back over here, of course.
Commander.
Okay. So now they're going to move their Hunchback, and that should be the end of the round, I think. Nope, they still need to move their Quick Draw. Okay. That seems fine. So end of the round. I would love it if this guy would make it to the escort zone, but we'll see if that happens. We can actually move in and melee this Austral. 56% chance on that melee attack. Ooh. A very, very nice melee attack chance from here. So that looks good. I think that we are not going to bother firing the improved, especially if we manage to hit this melee. That shouldn't be worthwhile. So we're going to hit the Austral from this side. We could theoretically one-shot the Austral here, but I don't think that's super likely. We did succeed in hitting the melee, which is a very big deal. So that was a lot of damage into that Austral. No doubt about that. Huge amount of damage into him. Next up is going to be this APC, which does make it in, so the turrets are coming online. That's excellent. And our crossbow from here definitely wants to... We could exit cover out over here, and I think we actually kind of want to. I'm going to move it back over here, and we're going to fire on that same Austral. These hit odds are not great. No visuals? Night fighting. Okay. Well, we're going to take the shot here, and we'll see how this ends up going. Foot destruction, lower leg destruction, upper leg destruction. The Austral is not doing well. That's for sure. And the Prime Mover is going to move up and not do anything at all. Our Marauder is going to step up somewhere around, I'm thinking here. I don't love this positioning. Minimum range there. I think we take this. We could stray shot back here with our Ultra AC5s. Let's see what we've got. We did stray shot a lot there. I like it. That was really, really solid. So that Austral has lost its arm.
Heavy damage.
And we did a fair amount of damage spread out over here on the Quick Draw and the Warhammer. So that looks very, very solid. This Austral is very close to being down. The Black Knight is going to step up over here.
Rolling.
And that actually gives us cover, remarkably. And I want to fire our binary laser on this Hunchback. We're currently in binary mode, and we could fire it in X1 mode, X2 mode, or binary mode. I'm going to fire it in binary mode.
Roger that.
Solid damage into the flank of that Hunchback. We can see that that's a missile variant of Hunchback as well. Okay, phase 15, so they're going to move their Austral now. Almost certainly. Okay, so the Austral moves and fires on the APC. It manages to stray shot both of those into our carrier, which is rough. No doubt about that. Our LRM carrier has basically no armor left. That was rude. Our Epimetheus is going to step up to actually here. And I want to keep firing on that hostile. Do it. Are we going to fire the light AC-20 in here, though? Probably not, but everything else, I think, should be absolutely fine here. Light him up. There's a fair amount of stray shot there. But we did destroy one of its ERPPCs and took out its torso. So that's something. Yeah, there was a fair amount of stray shot there for sure. So next up, they're going to be moving their Warhammer. Firing on our building. Okay. The building is still surviving, so that's okay for the moment. No problem there at all. Next up is going to be our Devastator. And the Devastator, I'm going to move up over here. Now, we could go for any of these. I'm thinking right now that the best bet is obviously this quick draw. Even if we miss the AC-20, we could stray shot the Warhammer over here. So, light him up. That is exactly what ended up happening. One of those ended up hitting the Warhammer, the other missed. Which was unfortunate given 60% hit odds, but I guess it's fine. So the LRM carrier, we're going to need to move out of line of sight here. I'm going to fire on the Austral. We're not going to fire incendiary rounds into the forest we want to take cover in. We're just going to fire standard rounds.
Locking on with all weapons.
Okay. A fair amount of damage again to that Austral. And he is now unsteady, so there is that. Next up is going to be our Grasshopper, and the Grasshopper will move up right over here. I feel like this is a free shot with the AC-20, and we're going to take it. Yeah. Beautiful. So the Austral is down. That took a little longer than I would have liked. But we definitely did manage to get there in the end. I mean, it's night fighting, so it's not super shocking. Now, the Bandersnatch, I'd love to fire at the Hunchback here, and that's exactly who we're going to shoot at. Do we fire this as is? I think heat means that we don't fire these two medium lasers. But otherwise, let's go. Wow, LRM ER ammo explosion, and the Hunchback is out of here. That was unanticipated. Okay, we'll absolutely take that. So next up is our Rifleman, and the Rifleman basically needs to head out over this way to get an LOS. We're going to park in the water here so that we can pot shot our ERPPCs a little bit more commonly. That'll help our heat sinking.
Firing full complement on enemy.
Okay, structure exposure on the quick draw. But it'll move very shortly here. Okay, noted. So next up is our Nidhogg. I'm going to put the Nidhogg out over here. As I said, I'm not planning on using a bunch of Nidhogg ammo right now. So we're just going to pot shot the... Not even a pot shot. We're just going to fire the Snubnose PPC. Oh, we missed that. That's mildly shocking at 71% chance. That's unfortunate. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, so next up is, of course, the quick draw. It's the only enemy unit that hasn't moved. And we'll see what it does here. Also, where did we hit the Warhammer? In the arm? That's not necessarily ideal, but we can chip through that Warhammer's armor pretty quickly when we're all focusing on it. So the quick draw moves up, and what's it going to shoot at? Our crossbow. Okay. So our crossbow's side arc there is weakening. No doubt about that. Okay. And next up is our jerry-rig demolisher. I kind of want to move that out to here.
On my way.
And we're going to fire on the quick draw with the heavy rifles. I'm not going to fire the eye rockets here, but everything else we can crit fish with. Not bad. Not bad. We'll see what the turrets get done here. We should be pretty close to done with all of our units, if not done. I think we are done. Okay, turrets into that quick draw. That's a lot of internal damage there. They do not manage to destroy it. And that was the only shot that they took. Okay.
Got my attention.
We can absolutely move the crossbow up over this way to engage that Warhammer. The Warhammer moves in phase 15. As does the quick draw.
Talk to me.
Okay. I'm going to attack the quick draw from over here. We're just going to kick it. I'm not even going to fire all of these MRMs. This should be from its weak side, I think. No, that's from its strong side. Its weak side would be here. Let's take front arc. We'll kick it, we'll fire the medium lasers and the MRMs. I expect that to kill this quick draw. So we'll see what happens here. I want to conserve a little ammo here if possible. So a successful melee there. Looks good. Perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. Okay, so that prime mover is going to move in, and that's not very relevant. At this point, we need to start taking down that Warhammer. So I'm going to close in a little bit with our rifleman here, and we'll start softening it up in the front arc. Okay, not the finest shooting in the world, but it'll do. Phase 17 is now going to be the APC here, which just chose not to do anything. Okay, helpful. We'll position our grasshopper here at the edge of cover, and we'll pot shot at this Warhammer. Not the greatest hit odds in the world due to ECM shield, among other things. Okay, some additional armor damage to that Warhammer, but nothing too significant. That's fine for now. Our Bandersnatch is going to position here. This is a good spot for it. And we'll just fire on the Warhammer. This is going to do a lot of damage, but I don't really want to thread the needle with these lasers. So we're just going to fire the missiles. The Warhammer's armor is significantly weakening at this time. So at this point, our Marauder is going to walk into here. Unfortunately, our UAC-5 is jammed. I didn't realize that. That's very sad. But there's some internal damage on that Warhammer. We crit its clan ERPPC. So that's solid. Okay, so that's the UAC-5 unjammed. The Nidhogg probably wants to come around and attack the right side here, which will be out over this way. Yeah, about here. Except it'll have to sprint. Okay, so we'll just position it to be here.
On the move.
And we'll fire that snub-nosed PPC. This is more of a crit fish than anything else.
Target confirmed.
Okay. We got the ECM jamming anyway, so that's fine. Next up would be our Epimetheus, and I'd like that to move out up over here. That's a nice clear LOS, and we'll just fire on this guy, including with the AC-20. Yeah, we'll overheat a little bit, but we'll take it.
Engage.
That could kill the Warhammer. We'll see. That was a huge amount of damage to him. I believe that's also a knockdown. Yep. So that'll reserve him back. That was a crazy amount of damage. Okay, he did eject. I was going to say, I'm surprised that he's still sticking with it, but no, he is not sticking with it. So we're going to move our crossbow up here. There will be additional enemies, and we're not sure where they're going to be yet. But this is a good time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll see what else we have to deal with. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Aelvast Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.